Hi, I'm Deborah Rosati, founder and CEO of Women Get On Board. And today, this is Women Get On Board in Conversation. Our goal with our video series is to empower the next generation of women corporate directors to have the courage and confidence to lead and serve on corporate boards. We have experts that we bring in for topics that are very emerging and issues that board members need to be thinking about today. So I am pleased to have Josephine Yam, who is the founder and CEO of Skills4Good AI. And she is going to talk about the role of responsible AI and what should boards be thinking about and what should they be bringing into their oversight role in the boards that they serve on. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it, Josephine. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here, Deborah.
So why don't we start with a little bit about yourself? I think you have a unique background. I've known Josephine for quite some time, about yourself and the work you do at a high level with Skills4Good AI. So over to you.
Thank you so much. So hello, everyone. My name is Josephine Yam. I am the CEO and co-founder of Skills4Good AI. And by way of background, I am an AI lawyer, an AI ethicist, and a tech entrepreneur. And the personal journey that I had in co-founding Skills4Good AI is born from the fact that I am a woman, a person of color, and an immigrant. And I have been subjected to bias and discrimination on a personal level and professional level. And this firsthand experience of systemic barriers in my personal life and my professional life is what gave me the fuel and the passion to found Skills4Good AI. So what is Skills4Good AI? We are an award-winning ed tech company that provides responsible AI education. We equip professionals with AI literacy so that they can navigate AI and use AI for good.
Well, Josephine, you make that sound so easy. And I heard you present with your passion for sure. So maybe can you give us a little bit with that context, a little bit of an overview of what board members need to be understanding on what responsible AI is and how they have an oversight role in ensuring AI for good?
So that's really a great question, and really first begs the question, what is responsible AI? And responsible AI is the knowledge and practice of designing, developing, and deploying AI that is fair, accountable, and transparent, and is aligned with our human values, our human rights, and societal norms. In other words, responsible AI is AI for good. And at Skills4Good AI, we actually have a framework for what responsible AI looks like in terms of looking at AI from the lens of privacy, ethics, and human rights. So backtracking a little, Deborah, in terms of why directors should actually understand what responsible AI is first we identify what is the challenge right now. The challenge is there is a tsunami of AI technologies that are coming at us on a daily basis. And it's just so hard to keep up with all the developments and AI innovation that's coming up. On the other side of our horizon, there's another tsunami of thousands of privacy and AI regulations that are coming to put guardrails on these AI technologies. And so with the tsunami of AI innovation and the tsunami of AI regulations, we are then seeing the emergence of an AI literacy gap. Unfortunately, board directors have actually come to us to say, you know what? We don't know exactly what AI is, what it can do, what its risks are, and so we do not know how to ask the right questions when we're sitting on a board. And so with that challenge, how then do boards and board directors achieve their obligation and duty of care to provide responsible governance? Because right now, Deborah, because of the age of AI that we're in right now, traditional governance is not enough. It traditional governance is now expanded to include responsible AI governance. And the way to move from those challenges to this vision of having this duty of care, of being able to render informed decisions to the interest of the shareholders, the bridge to that challenge and to that vision is responsible AI literacy. So we liken responsible AI literacy to the 3 Rs. Back in the centuries, we knew the 3 Rs were reading, writing, and arithmetic. And those were the foundational skills of being literate to be able to thrive in society for the past centuries. But we are now in a very exciting new millennium of the age of AI, where now another critical skill of AI literacy needs to be added to the 3 Rs of reading, arithmetic, and writing. And so AI literacy is absolutely critical, because it's only through AI literacy that boards are going to be able to make informed decisions and the duty of care to really understand how AI is impacting their company in terms of strategy, in terms of workforce, in terms of competitive advantage, and not being able to educate themselves in responsible AI literacy is a dereliction of their duty and irresponsible governance.
I'm smiling because I liken it to having financial literacy, right? Coming into
Absolutely.
work. Can you imagine not being able to read the financial statements and they're in front of you and you're asked to make a decision and approve them? And so I talk about that as financial intelligence. So I kind of turn yours around and say people need AI intelligence. So take it beyond even literacy. They need that level of intelligence. And I think what your platform and what you're trying to do is create an environment and create a collaboration and community to build that level of AI, having responsible AI governance at the table.
Yes. And Deborah, in addition to that, what's really key is that it's not enough for boards to have only 2 people on the team understand AI. It's not. It's absolutely critical that every member of the board has AI literacy. And this is absolutely critical, because right now what we're seeing is, let's assign it to those that have digital skills, and but that's not going to work anymore. AI literacy is no longer optional. It's a critical skill in responsible governance. And so everybody needs to be educated on AI literacy, and not only on what AI is and what its use cases are, but also how does it impact humans in terms of the future of work? How does it impact strategy? How does it impact the competitive advantage of an organization? Deborah, there's a very good saying that says that, in 5 years, there's only going to be 2 companies that are going to be around. One company is the company that uses AI responsibly, and the other company is the company that's out of business.
Oh,
and
so haves and have-nots, really. That's and so what I think you're trying to do is create that next generation of the haves, those that are acting responsibly responsible from an AI. And if you're not, you will be on the other side. You will not be around.
Exactly. And that's the reason why responsible AI literacy is so critical to being a leader, whether at the board level or at the manager level, in terms of really being able to thrive in the age of AI.
So let's kind of turn it on its head a little bit. And let's say that, if part of your education is to empower, business leaders, and in particular, we're talking about board of directors, what are some risks if, the board, we talked about fiduciary duty, but what are some of the risks if the board's oversight, they're not ensuring responsible AI inside their organization? Maybe could you give a couple examples, and I'm sure you have a multitude of them, but maybe a few examples of what some of the risks are if they don't have proper guardrails or they're not having that oversight role.
Yes. And so in terms of the risks of the lack of AI literacy, let's just talk about 3. The first is the strategic risk. It's not being able to understand how AI is actually impacting and disrupting existing business models. Let me give you an example. Chegg is an online education platform that provides homework assistance to students. When ChatGPT came out back in November of 2022, they assessed the impact of ChatGPT on their business model, and they gave a warning to their shareholders that their subscribers would actually plummet to 50% than normal because students would go to ChatGPT to help them with their homework instead of going to check. Immediately, the very next day after they gave that notice to shareholders, their stock price plummeted by 50%. So that's a key risk in terms of what AI can do to disrupt existing business models. The second risk is ethical and legal risks, where with the ethical principles that are brought out by the UNESCO framework and the legal framework on the international human rights law, for example, there is actually a very big risk of violating ethics and human rights because AI is extremely powerful. If it without guardrails, it can actually violate human rights and violate our ethical principles. So, for example, I'll give you an example that's close to home, and this is Air Canada. So Air Canada actually had a chatbot that was used by a customer in Vancouver who was getting a bereavement discount because he wanted to visit his grandmother who passed away. So he said, okay, I want to avail of your bereavement discount. And the chatbot told him, sure, you can avail of the bereavement discount and you can claim it when you come back from your trip. No hurry. You have 30 days to claim your bereavement discount. So he went to his grandmother's funeral. He came back. He asked for the bereavement discount. And what happened? Customer service of Air Canada said that they are not liable to give him the bereavement discount because the chatbot went on its own and went rogue and said something that shouldn't have been said. And so what happened was the BC gentleman then sued Air Canada, and Air Canada said, it's not our fault, it's the chatbot's fault. And what the customer could have done was look in the website to really verify if the chatbot was actually giving the right links and all of that. And so naturally, the issue of legal accountability and responsibility came to fore. And in a very embarrassing situation for Air Canada, they lost. Air Canada lost the suit because they cannot engage in ethics washing or in math washing, where they say the algorithm did it, not us. Because now there is very clear legal provisions that companies and individuals cannot delegate their accountability for the impacts of what their AI tools do. They will still be held ultimately accountable. And so that's a case, Deborah, where we see Air Canada, with a lack of AI literacy of their customer service people and their compliance people, denied liability and accountability in a very wrong way. And so can you imagine the reputation of Air Canada? Now it's the butt of all jokes because now they are known for not understanding really where their responsibility lies in respect of using AI chatbots.
Okay, so let's bring that back to the board. So what was the board's oversight role there? Like, because if that was a lawsuit, at the end of the day, boards have a fiduciary, they have a responsibility in ensuring, responsible AI and ethics. So what would have been the issue with the board? Was the board not educated on AI responsibility? Or maybe that's a conversation for another time. We're talking
Yes.
about boards. What would have been the board's responsibility there?
Deborah, it's a really great question. What is the board's responsibility there? And it cannot, this is the problem, Deborah, which goes back to the earlier issue we said, is that boards don't even know what questions to ask management. And so they don't even know what fairness looks like, and understandably so. If we don't educate ourselves in the principles of ethics, including fairness, there are actually 21 definitions of fairness. And so we have to understand what fairness is our company, our management people using. Is it equality of outcomes or is it equality of opportunities? And so that's why the board maybe, and boards in general, do not really understand what the risks look like. So they're not able to understand and collaborate with management to understand, hey, what AI are we using? And is everybody actually upskilling themselves? Because the customer service people probably never got their AI literacy to understand that you cannot devolve your legal liability to a chatbot. And so that's where there's a lack of AI literacy at the board level, a lack of AI literacy at the management level, and at the workforce level.
Okay, well, we can continue this on. I'm sure you've got lots of examples. So maybe let's bring it back to how board members, so it could be a whole board, a board of directors or individual members, how can they upskill, that's the word you're using, for AI literacy, using Skills4Good AI. Can you maybe talk about the programs that you have and the platform and the tools that, because obviously it's a go-to place, right? And we're trying to elevate that. People don't necessarily know where to go. So maybe can you say, if I myself as a board member want to become more knowledgeable on responsible AI, give me some programs that you have and what would you recommend as a starting point?
Great. So, we would love to have you, Deborah, as a member of our Skills4Good AI Academy. So Skills4Good AI, our mission is to democratize responsible AI literacy globally by demystifying AI and helping people understand AI and use AI for good. So our platform has actually three pillars. One is a comprehensive curriculum. The second is a collaborative community. And the third is cutting edge resources and events and experiences. So first is the comprehensive curriculum. So we follow the global AI literacy framework, which has 5 pillars, which is what is AI, what are the use cases, how it is used responsibly, and human and AI machine interaction. And so many edutech companies only focus on what is AI and what are the use cases. But they miss out on the lens of privacy, ethics, and human rights, which are so key to really deploying responsible AI. And so our curriculum, we have more than 150 lessons on responsible AI, which are on-demand lessons that demystify AI in a very practicable and actionable way. And so all our 100 plus lessons are actually in less than 10 minutes, because we understand that professionals are very busy. And so for board directors, we have a recommended customized pathway to be able to understand responsible AI in 21 lessons, for example, and not the 100 plus lessons. So, and it's growing, right now, because of all the changes that are happening in AI globally, because AI is borderless. Our team continuously produces cutting edge content on responsible AI. The second is collaborative community, because we can't scale AI for good alone. We need to do it together. And so we provide a safe space of discussion forums, of peer-to-peer learning, and Q&A panels and workshops to be able to discuss the current issues on AI ethics. And the third is cutting edge events and curated resources. And so we have a lot of events. We invite experts, we provide panels, we have challenges to really bring this group of like-minded individuals who really care about a human-centered AI world to move forward collectively so that we can advance AI for good. So those 3 pillars consolidate our platform, and we are super excited because we have found a very big need for responsible AI literacy among professionals who really care about making sure that AI has the guardrails so that we can use it to enhance humanity, not diminish it or replace it.
Wow. I think I will be signing up right after this. But so we're coming to the end of our virtual session. What would be the key takeaways that you would like this audience who's listening in today? Where can they learn, and where can they learn more? So what are your key takeaways, and where can they learn more about you and your organization?
So the three key takeaways that I have are as follows. One is AI literacy is absolutely mandatory at the board level. And so there needs to be a self-assessment of the board to really understand what the current skills are, and to be able to really have a very honest assessment if they need to take in more board directors, and maybe say goodbye to some who are not willing to be able to pursue AI literacy, because it's absolutely critical. And make sure that not only do they have AI literacy, but they bring a lens of equity, diversity, and inclusion by being multidisciplinary and cross-functional and with different roles from the IT to marketing to HR to customer support. Everybody has to be in this role of ensuring responsible AI on an enterprise risk management level. The second is AI upskilling also at the workforce level. And this is absolutely critical for the future of work. Why is that so? What we're really realizing right now, Deborah, is that companies have come to us to say, can you upskill our entire workforce of 20,000 employees? Why? Because they have a fear of AI. They think AI is going to replace their jobs. And so we don't have a shared understanding of what AI is, and AI is not because everybody got it from headlines, movies, social media. We want to have a very foundational understanding of responsible AI where we're talking with shared vocabulary. When I talk about the right to equality and non-discrimination because of a biased AI that discriminated against me because I'm a woman and a person of color, when I talk to somebody in, for example, in HR, they have to understand exactly what I'm saying. And our lessons provide that shared learning and understanding. And what's really key is that because if there's no adoption at the workforce level, there will be no innovation in the company because there's going to be pushback from employees because they think that they're going to be replaced by AI. And so AI upskilling is actually for everyone as well. And so now we are upskilling people not only in IT, but also in HR, in marketing, in procurement, in government, in SMBs, in startups, everywhere, because AI is absolutely industry agnostic and sector agnostic. So that's the second, is the upskilling of the workforce. And the third is make sure that when you are pursuing AI upskilling, that it is coming from a lens of privacy, ethics, and human rights. Not just privacy, because many people just talk about privacy, but having consent of getting data, which is the fuel of AI, having consent. If I got your data, Deborah, and I used it to train our AI, just because I have permission to use your data doesn't mean I have the permission to actually use it to make decisions about, for example, you're applying for a credit card. Like, you gave it to me just to apply for and register for our newsletter. I do not have the right to use it to train our AI, to use it to make decisions about you and your economic opportunities. And that's really one of the biggest downfalls right now in the digital economy, is that the law is never catching up with technology. And so we need board directors to bring this ethical, responsible human rights lens so that we can really achieve an AI-centered, human-centered AI world.
So on the last note, where can people find you? Where should they go to find you, Josephine?
So please join us in our Skills for Good AI Academy community, and you can find us at skills4good.ai.
And that's it for Women Get On Board in Conversation. Josephine, thank you for sharing your passion and your insights with our Women Get On Board community. To find more resources for your board journey, or to join our Women Get On Board community, which is now more than 950 members strong, visit womengetonboard.ca.